Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we're going to make a presentation about classic series of economic growth and development. And this presentation is presented by me, Nilufar Ashurova, and Muhammad-Aziz Alla-Axunov. And here is you can see the outline of my presentation. The economic development, the economic growth takes the four stages, the four models. The first one is the linear stages of growth model, and the second one is the series and patterns of structural change, and the third one, the international dependence revolution. And the fourth one is neoclassical and the free market country revolution. Okay, first of all, we're going to start with the linear stages of the growth model. Here is an American economist, Rostow, suggested an economic model about economic growth, and this model has five main categories. The first one is traditional society, and the second one is the preconditions for takeoff, and the third one is takeoff itself, and the first one is the drives to maturity, and the last one, the age of high mass consumption. What does it mean, traditional society? Traditional society is the inner meaning of the traditional economy. The country's economy is mainly based on the agricultural sector, the economy gets the profits from the agricultural sectors, and there is a low productivity. There are more unskilled and uneducated labor force. And the second one, preconditions for takeoff. It means that the economy prepares itself for the takeoff period. It creates the situations for takeoff, the fundamental situations for takeoff, it moves its economy from the agricultural sector to the industrial sectors. And takeoff means that the country is fully moved to the industrial sector rather than the agricultural sector in the past. And drives to maturity, it means that the economy and the country is fully industrialized. The more labor force is working, more labor force are working in the fields of industry, and there will be enough level of jobs, and the education and the healthcare system is also improved somehow. And when it comes to the last stage, the age of the high mass consumption, it means that the economy is fully developed. Reach the economic growth, and economic growth means that economic development, there will be high standard of living, like the country citizens can use basic, not basic, but the services like education centers and the learning centers and education institutions like the universities, schools, and kindergartens too, and healthcare centers too, and the tourism will be improved somehow, and the country citizens starts buying the luxurious products in this stage of economic growth. And here, as you can see, the economist Rostow. And another economic growth model is that Domar growth model. What does it mean, Domar growth model? It is the economic model proposed by two economists whose name was the Harrod and Domar. This model is mainly pays attention to the two main sectors. The first one is the saving, and the second one is the investment. Saving, if a country that saves some amount of its national income, can be a developed country in the future by turning the savings into investment. And every country produces income. National income means gross domestic product. That income can be used into two main sectors. The first one is consumption, spending on today's goods. It means that the country spends its national income for the basic current needs. And the second one is the saving money kept to build factories, machines, and roads. The country starts saving its national income for future use. Means that the saving will be turned into investments, and investment will be capital. Capital turns into the output. And here, as you can see, more savings, more investment, more production, and more economic growth. Yeah. Investment turns into capital. Capital means that the amount of money you have, and the human capital is also included here. The educated and skilled workers start working in this field, and they create more output. an economic growth rate formula. Here is you can see the economic growth rate formula and how we can calculate economic growth. We can calculate it by dividing saving by capital. But countries can save, but here is a big problem called saving gap. Saving gap if the targeted saving is more than the actual saving. It means that imagine a country can afford to save 15% of its national income, I mean GDP, but its targets like for 7% economic growth. When we multiply and our capital ratio is 3%, and when we multiply 7 by 3, it is 21. But the country can only afford for saving its national income for 15%. And here is we have 6% of saving gap. And targeted saving is called like 21% of saving, and actual saving is 15% here. And an efficiency of saving and investment. Saving and investment are not always efficient for economic growth. What does it mean? Country can save and invest its national income to the sectors that are needed, but there are other factors are also required for economic growth. Like a country has a capital but lacks an investment technology. A country has capital like money or this kind of money or the human capital too, but it lacks and having more advanced technologies. Saving and investment are necessary but not always efficient because of the reasons I have mentioned above. And investment starts growth, but institutions, skills, and efficiency makes growth last more. Investment can create growth, but it cannot last very long. The institution skills and the efficiency are required in this case. Okay, the second stage of the economic growth model, the structural change theory. Structural change theory, there are two types of it. Like the first one is the structural agriculture. It has substance forming a rural population and low productivity. In structural agriculture country has substance forming in the rural population. More of its citizens are living in the rural side of the country. And when it comes to low productivity, more of the country's citizens are not well educated and well trained. That's why the country is having low productivity. And the modern economy. What does it mean, modern economy? The economy, I mean the society are working in the fields of industry and manufacturing. Like the country started manufacturing the goods for the citizens, for its citizens and for the export too. Services and urbanization, there will be more the increased level of services and urbanization. And modern economy, the more and more people tend to move to urban areas, and there will be higher productivity. In modern economy, the citizens, the people and the workers are well educated and they have higher productivity. Underdevelopment. Why countries underdeveloped? Structural change theorists say underdevelopment happens because of the resources are poorly used, institutions and economic structures are outdated, economies are divided into traditional and modern sectors. So development requires structural change, not just more capital and investment. And the development requires just not only the investment but also the other sectors like the efficiently use of the resources and the best quality of the institutions and economic structures. Here you can see the example of underdeveloped countries like Afghanistan, Yemen, Central African Republic, Somalia, Sudan, Democratic Republic of the Congo, and other countries. Here are two main structural change approaches. The first one is the Lewis two-sector model, and the second one is the main development mechanisms. Lewis two-sector model is a proposed economic growth model by Lewis, an economist, and it has two main sectors. The first one is traditional rural sector, and the second one is modern urban industrial sector. The traditional rural sector includes agriculture, overpopulated population, and very low productivity. Workers produce less extra output. When it comes to modern urban industrial sectors, factories, industries, and urban industrial sectors, the country has more factories and industries, and it has higher productivity of workers and uses in capital efficiently. The country uses the capital and technology efficiently in this industrial sector and pays higher wages. And main development mechanisms. Here, as you can see, the main development mechanisms: workers move from the rural to the urban industry, and industry expands production. Profits increase too, the profits are reinvested, and capital grows, and more jobs are created. More workers move from agriculture, and this process repeats itself. Criticisms and patterns of development. The first one is labor-saving technology. The second one is limited rural surplus labor. And rising urban wages, increasing returns on industry. The patterns of development, the structural change approaches has this kind of disadvantages. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Hello everyone, I am Muhammad-Aziz. My partner Nilufar covered the sections 3.1 to 3.3, including the stages of growth, domar, and Lewis models. And I am going to cover the remaining sections: international dependence, neoclassical counter-revolution, case studies of South Korea and Argentina, and 3 appendices. Next one. My part has 4 sections. First is section 3.4, international dependence revolution. Why poor countries stay poor? Because of the global system. The second one is section 3.5, neoclassical counter-revolution. Why poor countries stay poor? Because of their own governments. Third one is case study comparing South Korea and Argentina, all through the 4 theories. And fourth, the 3 technical appendices explaining the growth models. Next one. The international dependence revolution. The international dependence revolution emerged in the 1970s. Economists, mostly from Latin America, rejected the idea that poor countries just need to save and invest more. The core argument is underdevelopment is not a natural stage. It's actively created by the unequal power relationships between poor and rich countries. There are 3 models within this theory. First one is neo-colonial dependence model. The rich countries, called the center, keep poor nations, the periphery, in a state of dependence. A small local elite inside poor countries benefit from the system and helps maintain this system at once. And the second model is false paradigm model. This means that Western economists and international institutions give developing countries false, inappropriate advices based on models that were built for rich countries. The wrong advices and the wrong policies keep poor countries dependent. The third model is dualistic development thesis, developed by Hans Wolfgang Singer. He says 2 worlds coexist. Domestically, traditional versus modern sector, and internationally, rich and poor nations. Next one. Dependence theory, key concepts. The heart of the dependence theory is the center-periphery distinction. Rich countries are at the center, poor countries are the periphery. Trade is fundamentally unequal. Poor countries export cheap primary goods, food, oil, raw materials, and export expensive manufactured goods. Over time, the price of primary goods fall relatively to manufactured goods. So the terms of trade consistently move against the periphery countries. Multinational corporations extract profits, so the cash flows out of poor nations rather than in. Even the foreign aid can deepen dependence by creating new obligations. And why is it hard to change? The local elites benefit from the system, as I said above, and the international institutions such as International Monetary Fund, World Bank are historically dominated by rich country interests. And the weakness of the dependence theory. It does not explain the case of South Korea, a country that was deeply dependent on the US aid and yet developed rapidly. And we'll come back to this case in case study part. Next one. The neoclassical counter-revolution. Now, the fourth theory, as I said, the neoclassical counter-revolution. This one takes the complete opposite from the international dependence model. Its core argument, underdevelopment is caused by too much government. So the solution is free market, openness to trade, and a less government intervention in market system. There are three approaches in this model. The first one is free market analysis. Markets are efficient, prices are just. So the government shouldn't intervene too much, letting the market adjust itself. And the second one is public choice theory, also called new political economy. Well, this theory says that politicians act in their own self-interest, not the public's. The result is corruption and inefficiency. Solution is to minimize the government. The third one is market-friendly approach. The position of World Bank, which was more moderate in the 1990s. Markets first, it says, and then limited and targeted government intervention in education, health, and infrastructure is acceptable. Next one. Well, let's compare the theories of international dependence and a neoclassical counter-revolution side by side. These two theories are almost complete opposites. Dependence theory blames rich countries, neoclassical theory blames poor countries themselves. Dependence says trade is harmful, neoclassical says trade is beneficial. The fact that Argentina provides evidence for both at the same time tells us the real development is far more complex than any single theory. Next one. Well, Appendix 3.1, three components of economic growth. Moving to the appendices, first one says that there are three fundamental sources of economic growth. The first one is capital accumulation. Capital accumulation, saving, investing to build factories, roads, machinery, and also human capital like education and health. For example, a tractor without roads adds nothing. Physical and human capital must work together. The second one is population and labor force. More workers can mean more output, but only if economy can productively absorb them. Quality, skills and health matters as much as the quantity. The third model is technological progress. It is the most important. There are three types. Nurture progress means same inputs produce more output. Labor saving means machines replace the workers. Capital saving, most needed in developing countries, producing more with less capital. There we have a famous example, the IR8 miracle rice happened in the Philippines in 1960s. There, in this example, the rice doubled or tripled yields without requiring more land. Next. In conclusion, we can say that all four theories add something vital. Dependence theory shows the global system matters, and classical theory shows domestic markets matters, and the growth models explain how the government should invest and use its knowledge and skills, not only save more. Thank you for your attention and time. Feel free to leave your feedback in the comment section.